Our teens are living in a world that is so very different from the world that I grew up in, that you grew up in. Life used to be easy. You go to school, pass your exams, get a good job, and then, life just flows beautifully from there. Today, it's not so simple. Hi, I'm Susan from Teen Talks, and every parent wants their kid to have a happy and successful future. I sure did. But the problem is, how do you prepare them for this rapidly evolving world? The concept of school and work is changing. Chances are, just a college education isn't going to land them the job of their dreams because employers and life in general are demanding a different mindset and set of skills. Now more than ever, entrepreneurial skills are fundamental to your teen's prosperity and well-being. The schools don't teach these skills. In this special episode of Teen Talks, Rehan and I share the 3 fundamentals and basic skills to develop an entrepreneurial thinking mindset, which is what is going to elevate the success and joy that your teen will experience in life. We believe every teen who adopts entrepreneurial thinking will transform their life immediately. So, we created a fun PDF which spells out a 3-step formula that will help them live life on their own terms, believe in who they are, and become the driver of their life. This episode is for you, who's raising an amazing teen. Learn the formula, then download the free PDF to share with your teen, because we've got you.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Teen Talks. Today's a special episode because we're going to be covering something called entrepreneurial thinking. That being said, Susan, take it away.
Yes. So I've had a transition in the last few years that has changed my life. But let's go back to teenage years. Teenage years, and most teenagers feel this. They are generally going through self-doubt, like not really knowing who they are, trusting what they are, even, their identity is like clueless. They have a limited mindset, whereas they believe that they can't do much better. Things are the way it is. Detached, so they're not feeling inspired to do something with their life. And then, of course, there's that social anxiety that I hear my son talks about sometimes, even though I'm like, really? But, just not feeling comfortable in a social situation, or do I fit in? Those kinds of things. Typical teenage stuff, right? Which I experienced big time when I was a teenager. So going way back, you may have experienced the same thing as me. I was very shy. And when I got into middle school, high school, I wasn't sure who to connect with. It was like, I just want to fit in somewhere. And I picked the wrong group. I ended up getting in with a group that did not lift me up. And, I look back at high school now and it's like, nope, I didn't like high school. And it's because I did not know my people. I didn't know what it was important to me. I figured it out later, but I didn't know at the time of high school. So I just kind of floated along, barely graduated. All this stuff happened because I got in with a crowd that wasn't like me. Life is great, get through college, all that stuff and everything. And then start a business, do all this stuff. And then at the age I am now, actually a few years ago, I came across this opportunity to do a deep dive on myself and learn some new skills and strategies that have literally changed my life. And in my head, I'm like, why didn't I get to learn this when I was a teenager, when I was young? It would have changed the entire trajectory of my life. No longer would I be letting my emotions sort of take the wheel. No longer would I be accepting whatever life throws at me, which most people do, and hoping that everything goes well. It would have been entirely different.
Yeah.
And so teens are feeling this way. And the question is, how can we change that? What can
Mm.
we do about it to get them what I have just experienced at this old age, whereas you can experience at a young age, like Rehan did. So Rehan, my
Yeah.
co-host, as you all know, he has experienced this, but he got to experience it young. And
Hmm.
it has changed his life now. And I can't wait to see what he's going to be doing going forward. You want to share a little bit about that, Rehan?
Yeah. So from a really young age, I mean, I'll give you a bit of a background when it comes to my family. So my dad, he is an entrepreneur. So he's created his own business and he's been the type of person to take on challenges and take risks and just take things on, right? Head on.
Mhm.
My mom has always been super supportive, right? Anything that I've ever wanted for myself, she's always been behind me. So I grew up in an environment that allowed me to dream big and to pursue things in a big way. Now, that's all great because I was able to take steps towards my career. I was able to dream big and all that stuff, but I still had a lot of self-doubt. I still had a lot of things like that, Susan, you mentioned, the social anxiety and everything, and those things were limiting me. So, despite the fact that at 13 years old, I moved to another country, I leave my family with their blessing and their support to go and pursue my dream of becoming a professional soccer player. Despite that, I still had so much self-doubt, so much fear, so much, you know, like anxiety within
Yeah, you
me.
were 13.
13 years old and
Yeah.
experiencing all of this, and it was really, really tough. But then I went to a leadership summit, and it was called GYLS, the Global Youth Leadership Summit. It's by Tony Robbins, by the Tony Robbins Foundation. And that changed my life because I learned different techniques and tools and strategies to help me as an individual not only lead others, but also lead myself and find out ways to deal with all of this stuff, to accept it, understand it, and move on and just become a better person and step into the best version of myself.
Mm.
And it was just an experience that allowed me to grow in such a big way. And now, I mean, I've been able to charter my own path in life. You know, I finished high school with good grades because even though I wasn't the most studious person, I just worked hard because I understood that, I had a privilege to have an education. So I put in the work, but at the same time, I didn't want to pursue any education after that. So I made the decision to stop school. I graduated high school, but then I stopped. And then I decided to start my own business to continue pursuing soccer and do all of that stuff. And now I'm in a position where I'm able to help younger people. I'm a coach when it comes to soccer and self-leadership. I'm a mindset mentor as well. And on top of that, I've still been able to continue soccer. So I still play in France. I'm a semi-professional player right now. And I've been able to kind of create the life that I've wanted for myself all these years.
Mhm.
Now, you know, that's, I guess, results. But when it comes to me as an individual, I've been able to gain confidence from being such a shy kid, to like never talking, never engaging, always kind of being in the background, to becoming a leader, being able to step into leadership roles. I've been able to develop this confidence. I've been able to develop this resilience as well. So anything that comes my way, I'm being 100% honest. I trust myself and my ability to deal with anything, literally anything. And that's a really good feeling to have. It feels very powerful in a way because you almost feel untouchable, right?
Yeah, well, because also, I mean, life is life, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what age you are, you're going to
Mm-mm.
experience all of these ups and downs. And if we can't figure out how to handle the downs, that's not good.
Yeah.
And teenagers really get bogged down by the downs, and so do adults. If you can learn that to be resilient no matter what,
Yeah.
that is a superpower.
Yeah. And on top of that now, the biggest thing, at least this is for me, is the fact that I know who I am. And that just guides me every single time. Whenever I'm making a decision, I'm able to be very intentional about what I do in my life because I know who I am and what I want for myself. So, you know, if my friends they tell me, "Oh, let's go out and do something like that," I know that's not necessarily my thing, to go like clubbing and all. I don't like that stuff at all. So I'm able to make a decision really easily and just say, "Look, it's not my thing, but maybe we'll hang out and we'll, I don't know, go grab a juice or something one day." Because that is my thing. I love juice.
And you're
But
brave enough to say, no, it's not my thing, but you guys have fun. I'd love to talk with you another time.
mm-hmm,
Or maybe you choose that those people aren't your people, that they're not going to lift you up where you
mm-hmm.
want to go. So you choose who you're going to hang out with, right?
Exactly, exactly. And these are all these little things that have such a big impact on my life. And it's
Mhm.
all thanks to the fact that I was able to learn these tools and these strategies and to kind of embrace it all to step into this version of myself that is within me and is within all of us, and especially within your kids.
Mhm.
And I think that's why it's so important to have this stuff and to learn this stuff and understand it at a young age, because I'm seeing the benefits now already at the age of 21 years old.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine like where this can take me in the future, knowing that I have these big dreams and these big ambitions to do a lot in the world. I'm excited. I'm excited for whatever life has in store for me in the future.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so powerful that we've got to make a movement of teaching our kids that they have the power to be themselves, for one,
Yeah.
not have to be like anybody else, not have to, I mean, follow an influencer or worry about people on social media or anything, but just to be authentically you. And
Mm-hmm.
part of the process of that is diving in and figuring out who you are and really looking in deep inside of yourself.
Yeah.
Um, so I often get asked, like, what is an entrepreneurial thinker? So, yes, it's a fairly new term. And yes, it could be most entrepreneurs think this way. However, school has changed. Everything is changing in this world now. And the great companies are not looking for the people who just follow the rules and take orders. They're looking for people who are thinking like entrepreneurs. They're thinking outside the box. They are willing to problem solve without having to ask for permission. They are looking for people to go, handle it, you know, figure it out, figure out the strategy. Hey, you're valuable. Tell me how I can be better with this company. What can I do?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And so when we have this entrepreneurial thinking, it really creates a confidence like no other, and the problem solving abilities
Mm-hmm.
to take care of it, to make something better, to see the bright side of things, and to have the beliefs inside our inner stuff that I can do this. Don't forget to grab our free PDF download so that you can share the ABC formula with your teen, where they will get actionable steps to apply right now to begin their journey as an entrepreneurial thinker who creates the life they want. To go along with the PDF, we've also created a video training specifically for your teen, because we know that most teens have selective hearing, if you know what I mean. All the links are in the show notes. Let's elevate the lives of our kids one teen at a time. How do we do it? Well, some of the things that we have talked about is understanding who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we teach this, because we do teach this in courses, when we teach this, we go through the process of looking at what are those things that excite me? What are
Yeah.
those things that excite me? And finding out like what's your thing and what's not your thing.
Mm-hmm.
And how do I go after what I want and not what I should do? I hate
Mm-hmm.
to tell you, parents, but be careful on the shoulds, because that might not be their way. But they need to figure that out, right?
Yeah.
They need their life. And once they figure that out, it's like, whoa, now I have some intentionality to where I want to go. But
Mm-hmm.
then oftentimes what happens is this thing in here, and we all have it, that chatter that goes on all the time. And did you know that 80% of what we think about in general on average is negative? and we have 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts per day. And think about that. How many of that is negative? Or we put ourselves in watching the news all the time, or we do all these things, and it creates all this negativity that we can easily, if we know how to do it, we can reverse it to positivity. I
Mm,
can instead of I can't. Um, I'm good at something. I know what I want to do. I do the things that excite me. So taking those things about the beliefs that you have about yourself and putting them at a higher level. And then once you've done that and you've decided what lights you up, then you have the power to create the life you want,
yeah.
like Rehan did, right? Rehan, did you have things that came up that were like stopped you or got in the way, or like things that you really couldn't control, but it happened? And then what?
Of course. Of course. The biggest one I would say is COVID, right?
Exactly.
COVID literally happened when I was on my last year of high school. This is like a pivotal year for me because
For
I was
most all
turning
seniors.
I was turning 18 years old. I knew I had made a decision that I wasn't going to go to school early on. Like I knew that, like
You
higher
mean university,
education. Yeah.
college, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But that just meant that COVID flipped everything because I didn't have that certainty. I didn't have that, um, I guess that safety net, if you want to call it that, of like, I
Yeah.
know what I'm doing next. It
Mm-hmm.
was like, whoa, now what? Right? All these dreams and things that I had when it came to my soccer as well, even that was put into question because I had no more training, no more games, nothing was happening anymore. Like, no one was playing. So, all these
Mm-hmm.
things were happening. And it was literally such a pivotal moment for me because I had two choices. One of the choices was to just let go and be like, okay, like, I don't know what to do here. I'll figure it out, I guess, later on. Like, I have no idea. Or the second choice was to just take control, was to be like, okay, look, focus on what you can do right now. Focus on the solutions rather than the problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
Figure
Yep.
it out. Try and find a way. And at some point, you're going to be able to navigate this and you're going to be able to make it out of this. And I did, right? But it was only because I was able to make the right decision on what I was going to focus on. Because I could have easily
Right.
focused on the things that I couldn't control, the fact that, we're all locked down, um, that there was no training, there was none of this, there was none of that. But instead, I was like, hey, you know what? No, I'm going to train on my own. I'm going to start
Exactly.
contacting people. I'm going to take action despite everything that's happening around me, and I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah.
So,
And
yeah,
that's funny because COVID sort of had that effect on me too, because that's where it allowed me. I mean, it turned my business upside down from
yeah,
in-person classes to all of a sudden having to move like with 6 to 12 year olds and do summer camps online. Ugh, we did it, but it changed everything. And it also allowed me to do programs in self-development because I had the time
yeah.
that I never would have done before. And that
Mm-hmm.
changed my life. It changed my life. And that's why I'm on this path now to help teenagers do what I learned at such a young age.
Mm-hmm.
Because life has life, you can look at life two ways. Life is either happening to me or life is happening for me. And then Rehan, you have another one you like to add on the end of that.
Yeah, I like to say that life is also happening from me, where you're actually able to create the life that you want for yourself. So you go from things are happening to you, it's negative, you're a victim, I guess, of everything that's happening around you. Then you go to the next phase, which is life is happening for you, where things are actually, you know, helping you.
Yeah.
You're kind of riding the wave with life, right? But then the third way is you're actually creating the life that you want. You are the wave. You're the one who makes the wave. You're the one who makes the difference.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's awesome. I just saying it, I'm like,
I
yeah,
know. It's
so cool.
powerful.
Yeah.
It's so powerful because in the end, it's our energy, it's our gratitude for what we have, for
Hmm.
what we're experiencing, for all of these things. If you find the good in it all,
Yeah.
it just brings more good. And when you
Hmm.
focus, like Tony Robbins says, where you focus is where your energy goes. So where you focus is what you're going to get.
Yeah.
So if you think, oh, COVID's the worst thing in the world, it just brought me down. I mean, I could have just given up, said, well, done with that business, not going to
Yeah.
work. Don't give up. You just go, no, I'm going to focus on the positive. And it's whatever you call it, it's the universe, God, whatever, gives that to you.
Yeah.
So we are so passionate about getting this message across to teenagers specifically, but even for adults that don't know about this,
Mm-hmm.
that we want to change the world one teenager at a time, and
Mm-hmm.
let them know that they can do this,
Yeah.
that they're valuable, that they're bringing gifts that are unique to the world. And that's why we're creating this entrepreneurial thinking to elevate them to be able to do whatever they want, to be of value to society, to contribute to companies, to build a business if they want to, whatever it is they want.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we're so passionate. So basically, when you're an entrepreneurial thinker, you have the power to control what you can and the wisdom to handle what you can't.
Mm-hmm.
And you change the course of their life, a teen's life, to grow into adulthood with strength and courage. And what is better than that?
Yeah.
They're, you know, is that what we want for our kids? Holy yes, that's what we want for our kids. I wish my kids had done this when they were young.
Mm.
They're getting it now a little bit because of moms like teaching them stuff, but it's going to change the world.
Yeah.
And you want a happy, healthy, confident kid. I know you
Mm-hmm.
do. All parents do. And if they're good on the inside, if they are strong inside, nothing on the outside can penetrate that.
It's
And
like a
so
force
when you
field.
are, it is a force field, yes. And so teach these concepts to your kids. We are also going to be teaching them to kids, and we'll talk to you more about that coming up soon. But
Yeah.
it's our passion, and let's change the world. Let's just make being a teenager not be so hard. Give them some control.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, we hope that you enjoyed this episode, and yeah, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do all the shebangs. Check out the description as well. There's going to be a lot of information there. And yeah, take care, everyone. We'll see you all next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.